So since the Jacksonville Jaguars have brought on Doug Pederson to be the next head coach for this team moving forward, Doug Pederson's done a great job filling out this staff and I think putting together a really good staff. I want to talk about the coaches which we've hired, and I want to go into detail with a couple of the coaches and really break down some of their past history in the NFL. But also, we'll have to kind of keep an eye out for the receivers coach. I haven't seen any news there. And also with Rick Spielman in the front office. Also, you guys, I got an Invisalign. So if I sound like I have a lisp or I don't sound the same, please bear with me. I'm getting used to it. And also, I do apologize for kind of getting late to this video. I've been super busy this last week or two, you guys, from school to UNF to working out to YouTube to podcasts. For my mental sanity, I've had little to no time, you guys. So I do apologize for this video coming out a little bit late. But basically, since we've got all the coaches, I can finally do a full breakdown for you guys. So thank you guys for being patient. So let's get right into this video. So with Doug Pederson obviously being named the head coach, he gets to pick out a staff unlike he was able to do in Philadelphia because Howie Roseman had a problem with that. I did a full breakdown video of Doug Pederson specifically when we hired him. So if you guys want to see that, I will link to that up above. But let me talk about my favorite staff hire Doug Pederson has done so far, and that is defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell. Now, Mike Caldwell has been an assistant in the NFL for 14 years now. He's been an NFL assistant from Philadelphia to Arizona to the Jets and for Tampa Bay. He obviously just recently won a Super Bowl with Bruce Arians, and he was working under Bruce Arians back when he was in Arizona as well. And he developed a lot of great guys, and especially notably in Tampa Bay, like Levante David, Devin White out of LSU, and Shaq Barrett as well. And if you guys don't want to take my word for it, and how great I think Mike Caldwell is as a hire and as a defensive coordinator, because he's just been an assistant, take Devin White's word for it. Let's listen to this clip from him.
All the coaches I ever played for, he's been the most meaningful and most impactful coach that I ever had. And man, it all starts with, him being a student of the game, because Coach Caldwell played 11 years in the league, and he's been in every situation, and he's been a great player. And this is my first time ever having a coach to coach me that has also played the game. I never had the type of, that type of coach, player interaction before, and I'm so thankful for it. And he bring a lot, man. I swear we get better every day.
Obviously, Devin White had a lot of high praise for a guy like Mike Caldwell, and I think that this is a great hire. Bruce Arians has said nothing but great things about him, and obviously Devin White. We've got a lot of good young linebackers, and I would actually like to go out and get another linebacker throughout this offseason, whether that's in the draft or through free agency, to put alongside Josh Allen, Miles Jack, Kayvon Chason, Shaq Quarterman, Damian Wilson. We'll have to see what goes on there. But definitely, I love Mike Caldwell. That was a great hire. The next one I'm going to talk about is Press Taylor, the offensive coordinator, who Doug Pederson promoted to, and he worked under Doug Pederson in Philadelphia as well. Now, Press Taylor was originally hired by Chip Kelly when Chip Kelly was in Philadelphia back in 2013, but that's when Pederson took over the job, he promoted him to the offensive quality control assistant and quarterbacks assistant coach back in 2016. He became the quarterbacks coach in 2018 for Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, and was the passing game coordinator in 2020 when the Eagles went like 4-12 or 5-11. They just had a really rough season because Carson Wentz had a rough season. But in 2021, he went to Indianapolis and followed Carson Wentz with Frank Reich and worked under him as the senior offensive assistant. And he's actually the brother of Zach Taylor, who was just in the Super Bowl for the Cincinnati Bengals. So Press Taylor, I think that this is a really good hire. I don't know how he's going to do as an offensive coordinator. I don't know, just because he's not going to be the play caller. I believe Doug Pederson's still going to be the play caller. But Press Taylor has some great success working with some quarterbacks from Carson Wentz and Nick Foles in the past, and Jalen Hurts a little bit as well. So I definitely think that he understands the room and understands what Doug Pederson wants to do in an offense. So I think Press Taylor is definitely a solid hire. I'm not completely sold on him yet, but I do think that this was a very good hire as well. And he's obviously very familiar with Doug Pederson. Now I want to talk about quarterbacks coach Mike McCoy, who's actually been a former head coach and a former quarterback in the NFL as well. Mike McCoy's been in the NFL since 2009 coaching. So from 2009 to 2012, he was the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos in 2013 through 16, working with Phillip Rivers. He was the head coach for the San Diego Chargers at the time. 2017, he went back to Denver as the OC. 2018 went to Arizona as the OC, and he hasn't been coaching since. So I want to talk about his time as the head coach from 2013 to 2016 in San Diego when he was working with Phillip Rivers. And I just want to talk about him and his passing ranks and his passing offense through his time there with Phillip Rivers, because that's all he's going to be doing as the quarterbacks coach for Trevor Lawrence. In 2013, San Diego ranked in terms of passing touchdowns, they ranked number 5. 2014, they were number 8. 2015, number 13, and 2016, number 4. So he was in the top 10 3 out of the 4 years with Phillip Rivers in terms of passing touchdowns. That is really good. That's something you love to see. I really like that a lot. But then in 2017, he struggled with Denver. I mean, Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch were the quarterbacks, so he ranked number 25. 2018, he had Josh Rosen, horrible quarterback. I don't even know where he is anymore. He ranked number 30th in the league. I don't even blame him for that. That's just a bad situation as an OC to be working with Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, and Josh Rosen. Now I'm going to talk about 2 more coaches that Doug Pederson hired. I'm going to talk about special teams coordinator Heath Farwell, who worked with the Buffalo Bills these last 2 seasons as the special teams coordinator. He ranked number 12 in 2020 and ranked number 8 this past season. But he got a lot of criticism for the AFC divisional playoff game versus the Kansas City Chiefs when we saw them kick the ball out of bounds in the back of the end zone with 13 seconds left when Mahomes and the team obviously went 13 seconds to be able to tie the game up and go into overtime. I don't really blame him for that. I think either way, you could have kicked the ball out of the back of the end zone, or you could have swibbed it. Either way, the defense should have stopped him. But he's been a great special teams coordinator in Buffalo these last 2 seasons. The Jaguars have a lot of good pieces on special teams. We saw the explosiveness from Jamal Agnew this past season. Matthew Wright turned into a great kicker, going 21-24 this season. So the Jaguars have a lot of pieces on offense. We might even have the best, on special teams. We might even have the best punter in the NFL, and Logan Cook as well. So I definitely think that this is a nice upgrade at the special teams coordinator position. And the last coach I'm going to get into is going to be defensive line coach coming over from Arizona, BRENSTON BUCKNER, who was a former second-round pick and actually played in the NFL as a defensive lineman as well. And the big thing about this is everyone's talking about, could Chandler Jones come to Jacksonville now? Question mark, because Chandler Jones had a very solid and productive season. He has over 100 sacks in his career. I mean, he's a great player. He's always been a great player from the time I've watched him, and he actually grew up a Jaguars fan. I think he said that, teal and black was actually like his favorite colors growing up, so we actually rooted for the Jaguars. So he is an impending free agent. Maybe Chandler Jones wants to come to Jacksonville if we pay him some money. I wouldn't mind it. We'll have to see if Calais Campbell wants to come back to Jacksonville. I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I mean, it's definitely something you want to consider. But BRENSTON BUCKNER, I like that hire as well. I know the Jaguars also got, I think, Desha Townsend. I don't know if I said his name correctly. Chicago Bears secondary coach. He's developed guys like Eddie Jackson. He's worked with Tashawn Gibson as well, who Jaguar fans are very familiar with. I think that's a nice solid hire. He was supposed to go to Minnesota originally, but then Doug Pederson lured him down at Jacksonville. The Jaguars got a lot of good hires, and I really do like a lot of these hires. The only one I'm really sus with is Press Taylor. I want to see how Press Taylor does. I think that he's going to do pretty good just because he's very familiar with Doug Pederson and the system, and he's worked with some quarterbacks who've had success in the past. I do like that hire, and I do like almost every single one of these hires, but at the end of the day, we'll have to see how it translates to the field and what we do in free agency and throughout the draft and how we develop these guys properly. I'm super excited, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. What do you guys think about these hires? And let me know actually who was your favorite hire down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys drop a like. It takes 1 second. It helps me in the channel out tremendously. And make sure you guys also hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more NBA and Jacksonville Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. But Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Peace!